Now, one of the features of the Specialized Levo bike is you can either go for a minimalist cockpit whereby you focus more on the trail than on the displays, or indeed you can get an aftermarket display which enables you to keep an eye on your ride. Now, that doesn't mean to say you cannot customize the ride on your Levo, and you can do this by way of the Mission Control app. And that allows you to get much more out of your bike and potentially get more out of yourself. And it further extends the capabilities of the Levo. So we're here in Switzerland and I'm with the guys who developed the app and the Specialized Levo bike, and what better place to start a ride on Mission Control. Right, Dom, I've got my Mission Control app, where I've got loads of features here. Where on earth do I start with it?
I mean, an obvious one to start is hitting the Let's Ride button.
Right.
If you hit that button, you're directly in the recording mode of your ride. So it records your rider input, the motor input, obviously where you're riding on the map. Yeah. You can see your speed, average speed, distance, everything. And at the end of the day, after the ride, you obviously press the save button. Yeah. You even have the opportunity to then do automatic uploads to third-party platforms such as Strava. Wow. Or of course, you can also review all your ride data and analyze it within the Mission Control app.
Is there any way that if you forget to hit Let's Ride, that it does it automatically for you?
Yes, you can absolutely adjust that
So
in your settings.
How does that work then?
As soon as the bike recognizes that you're starting the ride, yeah, it starts recording.
So as long as your phone's switched on and you switch the motor on, it just records your ride.
As soon as they are connected, it automatically starts and stops recording.
Wow, that's pretty neat. So Dom, there's a big spanner, there's a tune button on my app here. This is worrying me quite a bit. What on earth do you do with that?
So, with the tune button is basically allowing you to customize your Levo and the motor to your personal needs, to your personal riding preferences.
Crikey, you've got to know what you want though, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's why the bike obviously comes with stock settings for the 3 modes, Eco, Trail, Turbo. Yeah. Those are the settings we really like to ride. We chose after a lot of ride analytics.
So I guess that's what you developed this bike and the standard tune in this environment, right? Absolutely. It's got to be good for anywhere in the world, right?
Yes, absolutely. But with that button in the app, we allow the rider to ultimately really customize the motor behavior to the personal preferences.
Right. I tell you what, Dom, we're in the Alps. Why didn't you take me to a certain place where you might be able to use such a feature?
Oh, there are a couple of those. Let's go. Yeah.
Jan, we're in a typical e-bike territory here to get, a place that you can really get the most out of your e-bike, right? Loads of routes, different inclines, it's mellow there, it's steep here, you've got routes all over the place.
Unrideable on a push bike.
Unrideable, yeah, absolutely. Now look, we're talking here about the tune mode on Mission Control. Obviously, we've already got Eco, Trail and Turbo, and we're going to be riding this in probably Trail or Turbo. Now, how on earth do I tackle support and peak power, and where does that come into play on a place such as this?
That's an easy one to explain. Eco mode we prefer as like it's for longer duration, transfer stages, to get more range out of it. Turbo is flat out uphill. Yeah. We're on the trail, so let's tune the trail mode. We have 2 parameters, support and peak power. Support, you want a support that is not too much and not too little. Mm-hmm. So with the rider input, so we amplify just enough to get you over the routes. But in certain situations, you may slip your rear wheel. So we have to reduce the peak power just a little bit so you don't spin out, specifically in wet conditions. So it's a very personal thing. So we encourage actually people, pick a tricky section like this one and try it out multiple times and just try different settings. You'll be surprised how different the bike behaves.
So that's the key thing you said there is making sure that back tire is not spinning. So peak power is quite important there. So back off the peak power touch when you got super technical terrain. But that's it though, generally. It's, we're all different. We ride different terrain. We ride different types of terrain with different weights, different tires, all that. But it's all about just playing with it, right, and exploring it.
That's the fun part about it. It's very personal, and it's a playful tool where you can just tweak your ride and share your experience. And that's what I say. We encourage people to try it out, and it's eye-opening to see how different the bike can behave in different settings.
Jan, the trail has gone up a gear, some uphill steps. Now, I've moved on to the app and acceleration response. So can you explain to me what it is? And secondly, why it's got 0% in the standard setting?
Absolutely. So a lot of people like the bike to behave very torquey. So the rider input, as soon as you put torque on the pedal, they want the bike to go. It's just, that's what gives you the smile on the face. I mean, to be honest. But in certain situations, like on those steps here and in slippery conditions, you'll end up being like thrown off the back and the rear wheel and the bike just does this and you can't manage those sections. So we reduce this and it just gives you a lot softer feeling and a lot more gentle, smooth uphill climbing ability.
So I guess maybe, so why would you use acceleration response in a higher percentage then?
In a higher percentage, if you are just gravel road, pavement, easy trails, more cross-country-ish without like a lot of uphill technical obstacles, that's where it just feels a little more, I use the word torquey, a little race car, it's fun. That's where you go all the way to the right.
But for tech climbing, 0%.
My personal preference is all the way back to 0.
And let's face it, you've been up and down the data acquisition on this app for many hours, right? So
absolutely, we've tried all settings.
Jan, I'm going to listen to what you say, and I'm going to try it in 0%. Marco, we've come up a technical trail. Jan has explained to me about support, peak power, and acceleration response. I've got one little thing left on my tune mode on mission control, and that's shuttle. What does that mean?
Well, shuttle mode basically enables the bike to be more of a cadence sense bike. So if you ride a fire road like that, you basically typically have less torque on the pedals. But if you still want full motor power and you pedal a good cadence, then you get full support, full motor power in shuttle mode. If the shuttle mode is off and you're riding a technical train, the motor is power sensed. So the harder you push, right, the more power you give, the more power you get back from the motor, which is nice. You can actually modulate the motor with your leg power, right? And you can go over technical routes and so on. On a fire road like this, it's less important to have basically your leg power controlling the traction. You just won't go full speed.
So if your shuttle is shuttle then, if you're going up and down fire roads and sessioning down on tracks, stuff like that.
Well, that's the idea behind it, right? Don't waste energy going up the hill, just pedal and get full motor power, get the energy going down.
Here's the question then. You've got a 700 watt hour Levo, right? If you stick it in shuttle mode, roughly, how many meters of climbing can you do?
In shuttle mode, in turbo mode. So shuttle, turbo, we're looking at 1,400 meters of climbing.
Wow, that's quite a lot, isn't it? That's quite a few downhill runs.
Yeah, plenty.
Right, let's, well, we're gonna go to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Stick it in shuttle, let's go. Let's do it. Oh, Marco, I'm really sorry.
What?
I've got 3 bars left.
Wow. We're turbo-moding all day, huh?
Well, but we've got to go down there and then over that hill.
That's right.
So I'm gonna have to call in a battery, I think.
No, I don't think so. Just take your phone out, enable smart control. You know, roughly you have an hour to go home.
Smart control, where's smart control?
Smart control, within your ride.
So, let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride. You can turn on smart control right there.
Yeah, and what happens then?
What happens then is that you basically tell smart control how far you have to go or how long you have to go. If you have to go for an hour, you plug in an hour, you tell smart control how much better you want left at the end.
Yeah.
When you get home, just have the little safety.
I just want to get home.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So give it 10% at the end. So you get home for sure, right?
So 10% at the end.
Yeah, 10% at the end.
10% at the end, right.
Go like an hour, and now what happens is the system will talk to the motor every other minute and asking the battery how much energy is left.
Really? This will get me home?
This will get you home, guarantee you.
You guarantee it?
I will guarantee you.
I bet you a bottle of wine on it.
Bottle of wine sounds good. So what happens is the system basically modulates the modes for you. So it selects the correct tune to get you home.
Mission control then, a really handy tool to get the most out of your Levo, and if used correctly, to get the most out of yourself too on a big day out. Now, what I did notice in the tune mode is that if you go to the support and the peak performance, if you're doing that when you're going up like a gravel road climb and you fiddle with the dials, it's really easy to see the difference between the outputs on the motor. Get back home, load your rides up to Strava, and I think it's good to see what you did during your day out. If you want to see more in the development of the Levo, just click down here. Let us know your thoughts on this video. Give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you've not already done so.